Hello class, I'm coming to you today for a review for the quiz 2, for unit 2, the second quiz for unit 2. Alright, so this quiz is 5 questions and it's going to cover proportions, part over total equals percent over 100. It's going to cover absolute value, so that means the absolute value is the distance from the value, whether it's positive or negative, from 0. Okay, the distance of that value from 0. So here the absolute value of negative 25 is going to be 25 because negative 25 is 5 units away from 0. And also it's going to cover opposites of a number. So remember we talked about the total distance from the opposite side of a number on the number line. For example, the opposite of a positive 5 is going to be a negative 5 because they share the same number of units away from 0. The opposite of negative 103 is a positive 103 because they share the same units or share the same spaces away from 0. Okay? So now I'm going to work 2 problems that will be similar to what you see dealing with proportions. Alright, remember part over total equals percent over 100. So now, there are 700 students at Banks High School. If 58 of the students prefer tacos on Tuesday, what is the amount of students who prefer tacos on Tuesday? Alright, so now we need to figure out the key information in this problem. So we know that there were 700 students. And out of the 700 students, 58% of the students preferred tacos on Tuesday. So here we know that 758 are part of this question that we're going to use to determine the amount. So this is what we're looking for, the amount of students who prefer tacos on Tuesday. So now we're going to set this up using this statement. The percent of blank is blank. Well, we know the percent is 58 of the total, which is 700, is blank. So this is the part that we're looking for. All right. So this is our percent total and part. Our percent total or whole, and I'll put that here, and they are part. So now we're going to set this up using the proportion here. So we have part, which we don't know, over total, which is 700, equals percent 58 over 100. Alright, so now we first look to see if there is a relationship between 700 and 100. Of course, I can multiply 100 times 7 to get 700. So that means here I can multiply 58 also times 7 to get our part, or the amount of students that preferred tacos on Tuesday. So here I'm just going to multiply that out. I have 58 times 7. 8 times 7 is, wait a second, 56. Drop your 6, raise your 5. 7 times 5 is 35, plus 5 is 40. So the total amount of students that preferred tacos on Tuesday is 40. So here, instead of the question mark, we can replace that with 406. I'm sorry. All right, so that's when we're looking for the part. So the next question is here. So we know 35 out of 200 students played Uno in the last week. What is the percent of students who played Uno? So now we know that the total of 200 students played Uno, and 35 out of the total played Uno. Okay? Again, we know there were 200 students, and there were 35 out of the total who played Uno. So now let's put that in this statement. So we have the percent, which is what we're looking for, because the question says, what is the percent of students who played Uno? Okay? So now we have the percent, which is what we're looking for, is the part, and that is 35 of the total, or whole, which is 200. Okay? So now we're going to put that in a proportion. So we know part is 35. We know part is 35. We know the total is 200. We're looking for the percent over 100. Okay? So now, we first look to see if there is a relationship. We first look to see if there is a relationship. So that means, of course, we could divide 200 divided by 2 to get 100. So that means we're going to have to divide 35 divided by 2. So that means we'll have 35 as our dividend, and we'll have 2 as our divisor. So 2 can be divided into 3 one time. 3 minus 2 will give us 1. Bring down the 5. We can divide 15 into groups of 2 7 times. So that's going to be, when we multiply 7 times 2, 15 minus 14. We subtract, that gives us a 1. But we cannot continue with a remainder because we're looking for a percent. So that means we're going to have to add a decimal point, raise it up, add a 0. Bring it down. And I ran out of space, so I'm just going to bring this over here. And we can subtract 10. We can put 10 into groups of 2 5 times. Multiply 5 times 2, that's 10 minus 10. That equals 0. So that means the percent of students that represent the 35 out of 200 is 17 and 5/10. So 17 and 5/10% is 35 of 200. Okay? Again, this is the review for your quiz. Make sure you look at this video before. Hope you guys are successful on the quiz. And if you need any questions after your first attempt, make sure you send me a message. I will be reviewing these topics during the sessions at 10 and 2 on today. And I hope you guys have a great afternoon.